Anthony and his fucking issues and his stupid fucking brain. My in-laws, okay. Blue collar people from Philly, they changed me. He hijacked the entire show for his racist rants. If anyone wants to talk about all the horse shit I did on the show, then he's got to start talking about all the horse shit he did. All the days he missed without even really telling anybody if he was even going to show up. Falling asleep on air. All the days he was distracted trying to pick up women on Pal Talk. I don't understand why everyone came down on you, Opie. Yeah, I don't deserve any of this horse shit. You know, it's Anthony and his fucking issues and his stupid fucking brain, and he had to turn this into me against him garbage, which is so sad after the run we had. Ant says you changed because of your in-laws. He doesn't know shit about me. The guy never chose to know anything about me. My in-laws, okay. Blue collar people from Philly, they changed me. See, he's unbelievable at gaslighting and manipulating. He's really fucking good at it. But the fact is, Anthony doesn't know shit about me. He's never been in this building. I've lived here for more years than I could count. He never gave a shit to even meet my fucking kids. He walked out of my wedding with a whole bunch of people. He's a fucking terrible person that doesn't know anything. I mean, he doesn't know anything about me. I changed. He's the one that changed. We had a fun, goofy show that dipped into politics here and there. But in general, it was just a fun, silly, hilarious show. And then he hijacked the entire show for his racist rants. Guy is insane. Patrice going on racist rants destroyed the show. Probably some of the worst radio. No, when Patrice was, I know what you're doing, you sarcastic son of a bitch. You think I'm a rookie at this shit? You can always pick out one thing that worked. Of course, I'm not stupid. You know, I got to get rid of this guy. He's had a couple douchey comments. That's what people do. The fact is, see, you're going to get the honesty from me. In general, Anthony ruined our goddamn show going on his stupid racist rants. The first hour of every show for the last few years was him just babbling about black people over and over again. And then he would seg into his stupid gun talk over and over and over again. And we would just sit there on our hands. Jimmy would sit there on his hands as well. But with that said, of course, when Patrice came in and they went back and forth, that was good radio. I can admit that. Fucking guy thinks he got me. What an idiot. Did you ever call him out on air about his rants? No, I did not. I didn't want anything to do with it. You know, and I don't regret that. I didn't want to go back and forth with a guy that was just ranting about race every morning. I decided to do radio with this guy because he was really fucking funny and quick. Anthony used to be so funny and so fucking quick. He was funnier than just about any comedian that went on the show, especially in the early days. And then next thing you know, the guy, I guess, let his true self out. And that is a guy that is obsessed with race. And he blew off everything else. The laughs went away. The guy would sit there for the first hour yelling and screaming about this and that. And then he brings eugenics. He starts discussing eugenics on our radio show. And I remember Jimmy that day. We looked at each other like, oh, what the fuck? And then he just started coming in, looking a little tired and slower, falling asleep on air. That's when he would come in. Like, it got to a point the staff would be so fucking pissed. It's like, is he coming in today? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I would say yes, Ant's rants kind of did change the show. I mean, maybe it brought probably new people in that shoved old people out. You know? Look, I had my own faults on the radio show, of course, but I mean, he doesn't take blame in anything. Nothing. Oh my God. Why did you and Ant start to get on good terms and do his show and then things went backwards again? No fucking idea. That was it though. That was the last straw. After taking like over 2 years off of not talking to each other at all, when I started a new show with Carl and Vic and Sherrod and DeStefano, I started taking calls from Anthony. We did about 6 of them, I think, maybe more. And they went great. They were half-hour calls on both our shows at the same time. It was funny. The chemistry was there. And even though we didn't really get along, you could still hear the chemistry. And it was a chance to keep the brand going. And then I turned down going there. It wasn't the right place for me, but it didn't mean I didn't want to continue maybe doing these phone calls and seeing where it leads. And next thing you know, he went back to like hating. And that was it. I was like, I can't do this. Like, what are you doing? There was no problem at that point. It was promising, absolutely promising. You know, there was a lot of money to be made from Opie and Anthony. So I wasn't stupid. I was like, all right, we don't get along, but God, these phone calls are great. I don't have to see the guy. We could, knock out a half-hour phone call, 40-minute phone call, and then we could go and do our separate shows, which made a lot more sense at that time. And that would have brought in some that would have brought in stupid money for both of us. And is very talented, but he has issues. That is more than fair, right there. That is more than fair. I mean, the guy's got to look deep into himself. And just saying that, it'll make him laugh. But it is the truth. He's got some major shit he's never dealt with. I had major shit in my life that I'm dealing with to this day, trying my hardest. Because now I got responsibilities with my wife and my kids. But you're looking at a guy that has major issues and never did anything about it. And we'll just blame everybody else. Everybody else. I mean, he gets physically upset when he talks about race. And here's a guy that would go back and forth with Brian Regan and Patrice O'Neill and Andrew Dice Clay. And he was the better comedian most of the time in those scenarios. And he let all that go, all of it. So he could talk about his obsession with guns and race. I apologize for the nonsense, but it's just infuriating. I'm not going to be anyone's punching bag. If anyone wants to talk about all the horse shit I did on the show, then he's got to start talking about all the horse shit he did. All the days he missed without even really telling anybody if he was even going to show up. All the days he was falling asleep while the mics were on. All the days he was distracted trying to pick up women on Pal Talk. And I could go on and on. There's a million of those things. So start talking about the bullshit you brought to the radio show.